Hello guys, welcome to our Python series. Tomione here from Coding for Youth. Of course, like you know, this channel is actually created to encourage everyone interested in programming out there to try a bit of code every day, especially the youth. Encourage you to learn and utilize all the resources that are online, for you to be a professional. You have to practice every day. You have to keep practicing, write a bit of code every day, learn new thing every day. So we're going to continue with our Python series. In previous classes, we discussed about what a program is, and of course what Python can be used for. We talked about variables in Python, and today we're going to continue and conclude on our variables. So today we're going to discuss about global variables. So before we get started, I want to encourage you and request that you subscribe to this channel. Just to encourage us, in creating more videos. And also, don't forget to like and leave your comment in the comment section. And by so doing, we'll learn more. Okay, so we're going to jump into our new editor, and in the previous class we talked about variables. So today let's talk about global variables. uh, you know uh, we defined function that in Python we use the keyword def to define function. Okay, so what are global variables? Global variables, are variables that are created outside a function. Okay, when a variable is created outside a function, that variable can be accessed everywhere. So let's say we have uh, a variable called num. Okay, we can say this is num1, and we say this is equal to let's say 10. Okay, so now if we should define a function, we say def using the keyword def, and then we say maybe we want to create a function that will add numbers, and then we give this function some arguments and initial values. Let's say num2, and we say this is equal to 0. We now say num3, and we say this is also equal to 0. So this is how we define a function. Now in Python, you see that we did not use anything like a curly bracket after the declaration of a function, but Python utilizes indentation. So you can see that the cursor is like four columns of inside the under the function definition line. Now anything that comes you aim there is actually part of the function. So let's say we want to add these numbers together, add three numbers together. Now we have declared a global variable that can be accessed from anywhere. Now these other variables defined inside the function, they are local variables. Now let's say I want to request that my user enter the values for these other two variables, num2 and num3. So how do I do that? I'm going to request that from the command prompt. So I say print. I'm going to use my quotes to output string. So I'll say enter num1 or num2 rather, and then I'll close my string. I'm going to use end of line to enter to the second line, so the input can be entered. So I can use something like backward slash n to enter into the new line, and then I will simply request the num2. So I'll say num2 equal to I'm going to, since I'm expecting an integer, I'll say int, and then I will say input. So input is a function that accepts input at the command prompt, or a value at the command prompt. So I'll say num3, I'll say print as well, sorry, I'll say print, okay, and I say enter num3, okay, and say end to go to the next line I'll use my backward slash new line to create a new line. Okay, and then I'll say num3, say inputs inputs, okay, to accept the value at the command prompt. So here I can now say I can print the addition of this, or I can create a new value. I call this num4, and I will say this is equal to num1, the value that is declared by the variable declared globally, and then I'll say plus num2, I'll say plus num3. Okay, so by so doing, I can now print my final results, which is the sum of this, and I can say the sum of num1, num2, and num3 is, can do this, and I can create a new line. I say end, then I use my backward slash new line, and then I'll print num4. Okay, print num4, and then I'll call the function, which is add nums. This is how you call a function. So if I save this and I try to run this from the command line, you say enter num2. Okay, I'll say let's say num2 is 5. Say enter num3. Num3 is also 5. And then you see the sum of num1, num2, and num3 is 20, because 5 plus 5, which are the values I enter at the command line, is 10. Okay, and then plus the global variable, which has a value, there's num1, which has a value of 10. So 10 plus 10 will give you 20. So this is how you, now let's maybe talk more about the global variables. So you can, like I said, any variable created outside the function is called a global variable. Now you see that we created this variable outside the function, but we can access the variable inside the function. That's why you see here we have we were able to access it inside the function as num1, which you can see here. Okay. Now what about if you create a variable with the same name inside the function? What will happen? What will happen to this variable? Let's say we come before here. Let's say we say num1 inside the function now is equal to 20. What will happen? What will happen in such case? Now that this variable now is a local variable and cannot be accessed outside the function. Okay. Now let's see which one will take precedence, like which will be higher, which of the value will the variable accepts. Is it going to be the one outside, which is the global variable, or the local variable? Now let's run this program to test this. So we run this program again, say enter num1. Let's use the same 5 we used, and num2 5 again. You see that the local variable take precedence over the global variable, because 5 plus 5 it was 10, and then the new value of the variable is 20. So 10 plus 20 will give us 30. Okay, so you can actually declare a variable global inside a function by using the keyword global. So let's say I come outside here, and then I just print num1. Which value will it take? If I print num1 outside the function, it will take the global variable value. So if I save this and I run this program, of course I have to still enter 5 and 5, and then you see that 10 is the value that is being printed, because the last definition of this variable was inside a function local. It was declared locally. So the one declared globally is the one that is being, that can be used from anywhere. So that's why you see 10 being printed. Okay, but what if I now come here and I put the keyword global before before uh, the num1 inside the function? If I save this and run this program again, you see invalid syntax. We actually have to define it first. We have to declare it global first before we assign a value. So let's do that. So after declaring this global, we now come down here and say num1 equal to 20. So if we run this program, let's run the program. So you enter 5 again, 5 again, and then you see it takes the last declaration or last value that we assign to it. Now the print statement which is being the print function which is being called outside the function is actually taking the value of the variable that was declared inside the function. Since the value was declared after, because there is the Python program is executed from top to bottom. Okay, so the last value that was assigned to the variable num1 is what that has been printed out here, which is 20. The reason being that we have actually declared, though the variable is declared inside the function, it has been declared with the keyword global, so automatically it changes the local declaration or value that we assign to the variable inside the function to a global variable. It makes the variable to become global. So that's why you see 20 being printed out here, not 10 anymore. Though the initial value that we gave to it was 10, but since it was declared global inside the function and we assign a new value to it, it takes the last value that was assigned to it. Okay, so the global keyword is actually used if you want to change a global variable inside a function. So you use it inside a function. Now what about to change the value of a global variable inside a function? You have to actually use the global keyword. Okay, so I think that's all we have for this class. That's how you declare a variable locally and globally. Okay, so thank you guys for uh, going through this lesson with us. I will see you guys in the next lesson. Thank you.